All right, y'all. So here is the solution for this little problem that I addressed to you guys. If you take a look at our code here, this is what I came up with first of all, and what I essentially did, it's pretty straightforward. I took this, which was our motorized pinwheel code from Project 9, and made an exact copy of this. I went into my Tinkercad desktop, and there's actually a setting in there where you can make a copy of something, and I made a copy, and then I changed it to name it my motor with distance sensor, my answer. And you'll notice I went ahead and took out the button because we're no longer controlling it with the button. And instead we're controlling it with our ultrasonic distance finder. Right? So I took out the button, I took out any of the code using the button. So looking at the switch pin, the switch state, all those I went ahead and took them out because we didn't need those because we no longer have the switch on the button. Then I went ahead and took this and I copied this exact setup. So the signal is going to pin 7, and those are going to the ground into the 5 volts, right? So signal's going to 7, and then we're going to ground, and then the power at 5 volts. So that's all set up here. And then I went ahead and just copied this section of code. I copied the variables, the inches and the centimeter variables, and this whole long set of code. And I pasted those up top above my setup where they belong. So now I have my motor pin, which was my constant, and that's number 9. I've got my inches, my centimeter, and then this whole code that runs essentially finding the distance, reading the distance on the ultrasonic rangefinder. In the setup, I went ahead and just copied. I didn't do anything with the lights, so pin mode 8 and all that was out of there. But I used the serial begin, turn on the serial monitor so I could see that. And then I also did similar to what I had here. Right? We still had the motor pin as the output. So what I'm essentially saying is, hey, I want to start my serial monitor so I can track the distance. And I'm going to go ahead and say that the motor pin is an output. So pin 9 there is an output. And that's in my setup that just runs through once, so everything's set up there. And then within the loop, the thing that's continually running, right, is I'm taking the ultrasonic distance from this code here, and I just copied all of this from this guy, just copied and pasted that in there. Copied and pasted, so it's getting my inches, it's getting my, my centimeters, and it's printing those in the serial monitor, so I can know where it's at. And then I just add my simple if-else loop. And this time, instead of the if-else loop saying, turn on an LED, this time what I'm saying is, hey, if the inches that I'm reading, that variable inches, is greater than 20, right, then I want the motor to be on high, right? It's still going to run, and it's going to be on high. And otherwise, if it's less than 20, in other words, if something is closer than 20 inches, then I want to go ahead and turn the motor off. So I'm going to write this motor pin, I'm going to put pin 9 on at low. Right? And so that's all there is to it. So if we go ahead and start it and get it running, and I select on this, you'll see that the motor right now is running indeed. And then as it gets closer to 20, that's 20 and stops. Pretty straightforward, right? Gets greater and it runs. Closer, stops. Right? So then 20 and stops, so it's pretty straightforward. You could imagine coding this to do some other things. For example, let's say I wanted it to only run in a certain range. I could say, hey, if inches is, let's say, less than, let's say greater than 20, and I'm going to add in an and here. Oh, I guess I need to stop simulation. So if inches is greater than 20, and, which with the double ampersand there, and inches is less than, let's say 100, or let's say 50, let's just do it in a range, then I want it to run at high. In all other situations, I want it to go ahead and turn the motor off. So then if I start the simulation now, and I select this, if I'm between 20 and 50, it'll run, but if I get greater than 50, then it will stop, right? So you can add all sorts of other little logic things in here if you wanted to kind of control those kind of situations. You could also add a bunch of if else, so you could do if this, if this, if this, if it's in this range, and then else do this, right? And so you could actually have a whole different variety of options there. And so I gave you guys an extra challenge if you guys wanted to check it out. I said, hey, could you use this distance sensor to program the position of a servo motor? This could be kind of useful for that if you guys wanted to think about how that might work. Recalling what we did on our last project, but I hope that this was easy enough for you guys and that you guys had fun. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Send me a photo of your code or anything if you're having a hard time troubleshooting, and I'll see you guys later.